Welcome to your Macrame Polaroid hanger tutorial. To get started, we're going to be attaching our 3 long strings to the wooden hoop using a Larks head knot. For this knot, fold all your string in half, place a loop of the string through the wooden hoop and pull the ends of the string through the loop, then pull it nice and tight onto the hoop like so. Repeat this for the other 2 pieces of string. For this tutorial, I'm using a corkboard to attach my work using pins to make sure it doesn't move about. If you don't have a corkboard, that's fine. Feed the spare piece of string in your kit through the hoop and place some tape over the end, securing it down to your work surface. Now we're ready to get started, and the first main knot we're using for this project is called the double half hitch knot. Starting from the left, we're going to place the outermost string diagonally across the 2 strings as this is our feeder. Then, using the first string, take it over the feeder string, then pull the end of your string through the gap you just made, making a tight loop around the feeder cord. Do this again and you've completed your double half hitch knot. You're going to then repeat this on your next string. Once we've done that side, we move on to the right, so grabbing the outermost right cord and pulling it over the 3 strings, you're going to repeat that same knot, over the top and into the loop, pulling it up nice and tight. Once they're brought together like this in a triangle, you're going to carry the pattern on. So using that middle string over the outer 2 strings, again the same knot. So over the top, into the gap and pulling it up. And that's going to be the continuation of the right hand side of your work. So this time we're carrying on with the left side of our work, so we're taking the 4th string along and taking it over the outer 2 strings, and once again taking the string over the top into the gap and pulling it up nice and tight. So now you've made a cross, we're going to be moving on to do a different knot. So this is a square knot, so we're going to start off by moving the 2 outer strings to the sides. This time the 2 middle strings are going to be our feeder cords, and we're going to take the left cord over the 2 middle, the right cord over the tail of the left hand string, underneath the middle strings and up into that opposite diagonal corner. I then like to use my thumb to keep the middle strings nice and flat and straight before pulling the knot all the way up to the top. You're then going to do the same but starting on the right hand side. So right hand string over the 2 middle strings and then the left hand string over the top of the right hand string, under the middle and up into the diagonal corner. We're then going to continue making our double half hitch knots to complete the diamond. So starting on the right this time, taking our outermost string as the feeder cord and using the 2 cords underneath to make those double half hitch knots. So now we're ready to be making the actual Polaroid part of the holder. So taking the 2 middle strings out to the sides, we're then going to use these to make a square knot again. So we're going to start from the left hand side, pulling it over the 4 middle cords, making sure you're leaving a nice gap for your Polaroid top 2 corners to fit into. Then grab your Polaroid picture and just slot it in with the 2 cords wrapping around the corners. At this point, you're going to want to hold it at the back and just pull the 4 middle cords nice and tight so there's no looseness. You're then going to bring the 2 outermost cords around the front, and you're going to make another square knot using the cords from underneath. This bit can be a little bit fiddly, so take your time and just make sure you get that nice and tight, but not too tight that you're ending up bending the Polaroid picture. You could choose to leave it here if you just had the 1 picture to hang, but we're going to move on and do the same process again. So taking the middle 2 cords to the outside and then making a square knot with these 2, leaving that 2-inch gap again so that the Polaroid picture can fit in the top. So once again, just slotting the corners in and pulling the centre cords nice and tight so there's no looseness. This time bringing the 2 outermost strings to the middle, and this is where we're going to utilise the spare bit of string in our pack. So if you've used that to sellotape your piece down, now's the time to take it off. We're going to be flipping it over in a second anyway, like I'm showing you, so we don't need to have it secured anymore. So with the extra bit of string, what we're going to do is we're going to place it in between our thumb and our finger and make a loop. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring that really long tail around the front and wrap it around the strings at the bottom. So encasing the loop in those strings, making sure we're pulling it nice and tight. Once you've gone round about 4 or 5 times, what we're going to do is we're going to feed that tail through the loop that we created. So pulling it through, then once we're at the back, the cord at the top, we're going to pull that nice and tight, and it's just going to secure it for us. You can then go ahead and snip off the excess that you've just used, and then you can trim all the tails of the Polaroid hanger to your desired length. You can leave it short, you can leave it long, whatever your heart desires. And there you go.